we got ourselves some nuclear solo leveling drama on Twitter. I was linked this thread. We got Chromafire, the solo leveling guy on Twitter, right? Making some comments about another person. I believe this is RogersBase's. If you don't know this guy, I used to watch this guy's takes on One Piece back in the day, and he does a bunch of Nintendo stuff. And the comment says this: where should I even begin with this? Never knew Rogers would make such retarded takes. The incapability to comprehend the high quality productions for solo leveling's anime is genuinely sad. And it's always these blind manhwa fans. Or a I didn't know that's an actual word. Or a merchant and the UFO table cop. So 2-minute clip. Shall we listen?
Between Jinwoo and Gato, and I feel like that, at least for
Go back.
between Jinwoo and Gato,
Who the fuck is Gato? Goto? Goto Ryuji? Like Sung Jin-woo versus Goto Ryuji? That's what we're talking about right now?
and I feel like that, at least for me, as someone who read the manhwa, was supremely underwhelming. I feel like they did that tried and true.
I haven't read the manhwa, but I have seen, right? We often do the aura analysis, you know, YouTube, we do the manhwa versus webtoon comparisons. And right here, this thumbnail here, man, doesn't the webtoon thumbnail look way better? Not the thumbnail, but in the thumbnail, doesn't the image in the manhwa look better than the anime? The anime looks good, but definitely the manhwa has supreme art. And due to the limitations of anime, because you can't have every single frame be that good, but in the webtoon, you only have to just pop off with one frame because of the natural medium differences. Quite often, you're gonna have the manhwa be superior. So side-by-side comparisons, sure. The fight itself, let's be objectively true right now, it's not the best fight solo leveling had to offer, right? I don't think that's even me hating. The fight against Barca, Tusk, and Baran recently, those went absolutely insane. The Goto Ryuji versus Sung Jin-woo fight definitely was not on the same caliber, but it wasn't bad either. Anyways, let's keep listening.
Anime trick where they wanted to show the characters moving fast, and so they just drew multiple lines of action going on screen.
I think he's talking about the Gomu Gomu no jet Gatling gun punch like things happening between Mr. Ma and the punch guy, right? Yeah, there's definitely some techniques used to kind of give the illusion of animation, basically trying to do the most with the least you have in less priority scenes like that, I guess.
And the bit where you see the clash between the two of them and their aura, it's it just looks like an after effect that you can do in Premiere. I don't know really what they were thinking. Again, this is perfectly serviceable for people who are not familiar with the material, but for people who like the material, for people who are used
my man got the novels on deck
to the manhwa, for people who know this series for its beautiful art, bro, the animation is just not doing it. There's moments of greatness, those really cool fire effects that you get from Choi.
Are we talking about the overall season right now, or are we talking about this specific episode? Because there's more than moments of greatness in the overall season. It is an objective fact that the production value of Solo Leveling Season 2 is cracked. A1 Pictures is killing it. Notable anime directors such as Yoshihiro Kano is delivering insane fights throughout the season. Now, this specific episode though, yeah, it's not that comparably great. It's serviceable, like he said. But if we're is he judging it based on the episode? Because this is a 2-minute clip out of context. I don't really know exactly what he's talking about other than the episode.
Some of the choreography is also good too, but I feel like the fluidity is just not there in the way that I expected from the anime adaptation of Solo Leveling. And again, even some of the effects to some of the characters I think are lacking. I know people hate when other people say this, and I mean this legitimately, and I know people think they're super overrated. I don't care. My own opinion, I think they fumbled not getting Ufotable for this.
Couple things to unpack. All right, the first thing. Fumbled? Okay. I mean, hey, Studio UFO Table, if they did Solo Leveling, I bet it'd be cracked, right? Let's just be honest for a second. Would you prefer Ufotable over A1 Pictures? I might. I would love to see their interpretation of it. I bet it'd be cracked. But like Fumble though? Are we watching the same anime? Because A1 Pictures is killing it right now. The entire season has been quality. Last episode, and I think his judgment of this comes from the fight alone, not judging the entire season. Because you can't tell me that you saw Sung Jin-woo versus Baruka, or Tusk, or Baran, and tell me that these are fumbled episodes, that these are bad quality animation episodes. No, these are Sakuga out of our fucking minds. There are, again, really notable directors such as Yoshihiro Kano and many others that I can't remember at the top of my head right now, that's giving us such high quality episodes. It sounds like he really placed the Goto Ryuji versus Sung Jin-woo on a pedestal. And to him, maybe it was supposed to be such a turning point moment, right? Such a phenomenal cracked moment. And you know what? That might be fair. You have Korea's newest S-rank hunter versus Japan's most glazed, right? So if you think about what's on the line here, despite it being an exhibition match, just a scrimmage, where again, Jinwoo's obviously, if you really think about the substance of the fight, it's not Jinwoo going all out, but rather kind of testing the waters and feeling out Goto Ryuji. So to me, it feels like this fight should not have that kind of high priority, should not have that kind of cracked animation, even though it would be nice, cherry on top, but let's just live in reality, right? This is how production value goes, right? You're going to have a schedule. You're going to have great talent showing up for specific scenes where people have realized that, hey, these are the key criteria moments. These are the priority moments that we need to step up. So obviously the quality is going to fluctuate. To him, RogersBase, he probably thinks that the fight should have been way more because of how much he cherished the moment. To me, I was like, it's just a quick scrimmage, so I didn't think too much of it. But putting that aside, even if we go in with his line of thinking and assume, yeah, you know what? Goto Ryuji versus Sung Jin-woo, it should have been way better. To say that the studio fumbled, that the anime fumbled. Listen, if every episode was, I guess, mid, then we could say it. But that's not the case, right? You and I have all seen Solo Leveling. We're witnessing it every week. The quality is fucking cracked. Not every episode, not every scene, not every fight can be on that quality. But from the Baruka fight, the Tusk fight, the Baran fight, I have no complaints. It's just pure aura farming every single week. It's super hype. It's stupid hype, actually. So I just don't agree.
I'm just being real. I feel like the whole series of Solo Leveling is about aura.
Fair. A lot of people are gonna start writing paragraphs and essays like, no, there's such a deep story. Shut the fuck up. Come on now. Maybe in the future seasons there's going to be more of the story points coming out. But okay, first of all, the most disliked video on Crunchyroll for the season was the one episode where it was not about the aura. It was all about the emotional tones wrapping up Sung Jin-woo's character development, right? That already goes to show that the average fucking fan watching this shit don't even give a fuck about that. What does that mean? That means that the product has a target audience in mind, that the product is all about aura farming. Is it 100%? No. There are definitely genuine, wholesome moments, as well as some theory crafting that happens, but let's not go overboard and say Solo Leveling is like the deepest fucking story that you've ever seen or heard of. That's just not it. So aura farming, that's fair.
And hype and action. Like, you're so excited to see what the next thing is gonna look like and how cool Jinwoo is gonna look. Yeah. And I'm not watching every episode of this show waiting to see how cool Jinwoo is gonna look.
What? Why? I am. Every episode, he just progressively gets sicker, gets new powers. It's just so fun. What do you mean?
I feel like it always just looks kind of like generic action anime animation, which...
What? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Now again, if this was contained only in the most recent episode I could agree with you. Because again, the Jinwoo versus Goto fight wasn't that crazy. It was just alright. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. But also, the fight to me, again, from the story's perspective, didn't warrant that type of priority. To say that the entire season has just been mid like that, I don't know, man. But this is, I guess, the result of people being very spoiled by only consuming... Well, I don't know. This is my assumption. I think that some people only consume animes that's just cracked animation-wise. Like Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, or let's say even like Mob Psycho, or let's say Demon Slayer, any of the Studio UFO table stuff, right? It goes fucking cracked, right? And any of the Mappa human slavery stuff, it goes fucking cracked, right? So with that kind of expectations and standards, when you watch Solo Leveling, it's almost as good, but not quite there yet. There's definitely a gap. Therefore, I guess you could have this comparison. To me, I've just been consuming so many shitty seasonal animes, like 30 animes per season, where I've seen such a wide spectrum of just garbage and peak. So I feel like I have a pretty decent barometer, a decent gauge of like assessing, is this good or not, right? I have been there. I've seen the greats. I've seen the shits. I think that and I'm trying to really understand and educate myself and open my third eye, right, in the production value land. And I think, to me, that Solo Leveling is on a different tier of anime this season, and there's very handful others that can compete, right? Solo Leveling, I think, is up there right now. What's the other ones? Like ReZero, I think, is pretty well done right now, right? Vincent Chan started seeing my fucking crazy recent episode. I think that JC Staff's Danmachi Season 5 that just concluded was also fucking up there. I think that Villainous OG-san, which also has Takeuchi, the animation director leading the project, who's probably going to show up for Solo Leveling Jeju Ant Race stuff to get Sakuga out of her mind, that project is kind of also up there. But Solo Leveling is not bad. It's not mid. So this feels like a very out of touch take from someone who's been spoiled of such high standards.
Kind of like generic action anime animation, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. Again, if you're not a fan of the manhwa, I get it. I understand why you'd be excited. The story,
like, to me, it feels like he is broadly categorizing the entirety of season 2 based off of the Goto versus Jinwoo fight, saying it's generic and mid. And if the entire season's peak was this extent, I might be able to agree with that. But we know that's not the case, right? Again, 3 fights, Baraka into Tusk into Baran, that shit is not generic. That shit is not mid. That shit is peak. So I just don't get why he would make this.
Bones of everything that makes Solo Leveling good are still present in the anime. But again, as someone who reads the material, I can't genuinely sit here and say that I'm excited week to week watching these episodes. In fact, it's at the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till the end of the season and maybe watch the rest of this Jeju stuff and see how they adapt it. Because honestly, I am just not feeling it right.
Rage bait or nah? To have high standards isn't bad. But to be delusional and assume that the entirety season is bad based off of one fight that didn't live up to your expectations, I think that's delusional though, right? Like, yes, if Ufotable did it, great. I would love to see Solo Leveling from Ufotable, great. But like, did A1 Pictures fumble? Did Solo Leveling fumble with A1? I don't think so. It has been an amazing season to me so far. I don't know. It just feels like categorically he just labeling this mid big based off of one scene that didn't live up to his expectation. Then I'm also anime only, right? He has the novels. He's read the source material. So I guess I can't understand from his perspective. There's this common stereotype that we know that source material enjoyers can never be satisfied with the anime because, the anime is always going to be cutting stuff out and it's just not going to live up to the amazing art standards that exist in, let's say, Solo Leveling or even like One Punch Man, right? It's like, how the fuck are you supposed to compete with, Yusuke Murata's artwork? It's too good. So it's just a retarded take, huh? That's pretty mean, but I definitely see the discourse here. I see it. Now, let's see the comments. I respect that it's his opinion, but when an opinion is utterly disrespectful towards a group of people who have been providing top-notch stuff almost every week, and in fact, not an opinion, I feel like they have to comment on. That is true, right? It is very disrespectful to A1 Pictures and the staff, the talented team that's been working on the scenes, right? Yoshihiro Kano has been delivering crazy fights, and that's just one name. I think that the Soul Leveling team on A1 Pictures has been fucking killing it. Don't get me started on the pacing in that. What do the manga fans think? How long the Soul story arcs and Soul Leveling? I heard that it's a bit rushed. A lot of people are complaining that a lot of the things are getting cut out to try to, I guess, include Jeju Island's raid done within the span of season 2. And the things that anime cut are purposeful, and it's common for most anime adaptation. Yeah, I mean, being like, you can't have a 1-to-1, translation of source material to anime. That just doesn't happen. Couldn't get past 30 seconds. You gotta watch the entire thing, though. I watched it 3 times. I'm actually livid. Such a big following, and he would use it to spread toxicity and misinformation. Okay. RogersBase's he does not owe anybody. He can say whatever his opinion he wants. And if he says a bad opinion, then the fans can get outraged for it. Is he spreading toxicity and misinformation, though? I mean, maybe he's just ignorant to it, right? Like, if this was deliberate grifting, rage baiting, then yeah, that's fucking lame. But this could be just like a very out-of-touch take from a person who's been spoiled by such godlike animation from the other animes. What else is there? Basically, this is my comment about the fight. It's okay to not prefer the style animation, but to call it cheap and generic, that's flat out disrespectful. This is the fight we're watching. People always do that. They always justify their opinions by making them objective, in my opinion, as a shield. Yeah. Is there anything else happening here? Yeah, I stopped fucking Roger when the guy told his mother shouldn't have given... Okay, now I think a bunch of Rogers haters on the thread based on many old I don't know. There's when you have like content creator that's been existing for decades, there's bound to be like old drama and haters that bring shit up in the past. Man, I love RogersBase's so much. I was fine with not liking the anime, preferring manga, but man, as soon as he said they fumbled not getting ufotable and the animation not being good, yeah, again, like that's just flat out wrong. I can understand having an opinion, criticizing faults A1 Pictures has, but the criticisms are disrespectful and the criticisms are very ignorant to me, right? Who this? Not everyone has a click. Yeah, sure. And this is just gonna be a bunch of other bullshit down here. And that's just my final take. My final take is that Soul Leveling Season 2 has been amazing so far. A1 Pictures is killing it. The talented staff that shows up to deliver high priority fights like the Baraka into Tusk into Baran, and pretty soon the Jeju stuff is honestly just unbelievably good to me. To say that Soul Leveling fumbled by having A1 Pictures is flat out disrespectful and ignorant. The Goto versus Jinmu fight, sure, it definitely is not the pinnacle of Soul Leveling animation, but you can't use that and ignore all the other good things of the season and broadly label the season as just generic and mid, right? That's just a bit out of touch, but at the end of the day, we don't gotta get so heated, bro. We're just talking about fucking anime, bro. We just yapping about opinions about fucking Chinese cartoons. We need to go touch some grass.